Hey, good morning, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Man, do we have a ton to talk about. We have to talk about the cold temperatures this morning. We have to talk about today, of course, the rain coming this weekend, the snow coming this weekend, accumulating snow in the UP, and eventually northern lower. We got to look at the Halloween, and it may be a white Halloween in about a third to half of Michigan. And of course, always take some questions in between. Here is the radar. We had thick frost this morning in many spots. In fact, at my house, it was a real thick frost. Let me open up the picture and show you. There it is, looking out my porch. Probably should have grabbed the pots and brought them in the garage, but oh well. Hey, good morning, Levon Caraba and Andrew Dodson. All right, so let's get to it and show you what's going on. I just want to point out the weather pattern is changing. Here's Michigan, Wisconsin. That's a winter storm warning in effect in northern parts of Minnesota, so snow is getting closer and closer. Here's the radar forecast for today, and the main thing you should know in the lower peninsula is it does look dry. It does look like a very nice day probably, with the sunshine. Temperatures will warm up into the 50s in a lot of places. Santana says, bring on the snow. Okay, it's going to happen probably. Here are the temperatures, 5 o'clock. This evening, and it's cool. Low 50s, Detroit, Ann Arbor, Jackson, Lansing, Grand Rapids, Flint. Upper 40s, Saginaw Bay City, the Thumb, Midland. Santana must be a snow lover. Snow, snow, snow. And Traverse City, 45. Mackinac Bridge, 44. UP temperatures in the lower 40s or so. 31 in White Cloud. Yeah, pretty much I would say everybody had a pretty thick frost. Okay, so what I want to show you is what's going to happen here. All right, let's go into the weekend now. So we got today covered, and it's a dry day, and it's starting cold, and it's going to end up being a real nice day, okay? This is the weather for Friday afternoon and evening. And some showers moving through southern and eastern part of Michigan. And then this is probably snow back in the UP, away from the water. You know, the water is going to have a big warming effect. Sorry, Mana. Talking about snow after Halloween. We're going to get to that too. Okay, so here's Saturday morning early. Here's Saturday 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's chilly. So if you have a wedding going on, you probably get in a dry period, although on the cool side. Okay, Susan covered the basil. Yeah, good idea. Probably better just harvest it, to be honest with you, Susan, because it's going to get tougher and tougher to cover it and keep it going with the weather we have coming. Sometimes you can, on the first frost, cover stuff over, and then you got, a lot of times we get first frost late September, 1st of October, and then you got a whole month. But I would say in this case, and what we have coming is just harder and harder frost, freeze. So I would say go ahead and call it an end to the season and do what you got to do, or dig them up and put them in pots. See if you can keep them going. All right, so we are into Saturday. Now here's what I want you to focus on. Okay, here's the storm center. I want you to focus on these blue lines, because this is what's important to me. This is -3 degrees Celsius at about 5,000 feet up. I'm going to use -6 Celsius at this time of the year as totally snow. -3 is probably wet snow mixed with rain. okay? So we're going to step this through, and I'm going to show you how the progression over the next 10 days is going to get colder and colder. We're into Sunday morning, and here's the -6, okay? Here's the -3. So that could actually be snow. Away from the water, if the water doesn't keep it warm enough, southwest corner could actually have some vigorous snow showers Sunday morning. It's lake effect snow. And then we're going to step it through, and I want to keep showing you the progression of what's going on here. We're into Monday now, okay? Let's go to Monday evening. Now we're getting to Halloween, okay? Here's Halloween evening. There's your -6 again. Now the -9 showing up. -12. Okay, so you're starting to get to what I would call almost a late December, first week of January brand of cold. We're into Wednesday of next week. The -9 has briefly worked its way southward. -6. So my point being is that we are getting colder. Okay, now let's keep going. We're going into late next week, and behind the storm system, now -6 showing up to the Tri-Cities, -9 showing up across the UP. That's definitely accumulating lake effect snow. -9 by Friday, starting to inch down to Traverse City to the just south of Alpena area. And we're getting out there 10 days, but the European and this US model showing the same thing. Look at the trend. -9, -12, -15, -18, just to the north of the border. So in other words, the progression seems to be very quickly to something quite wintry. When you get down to -12 at 5,000 feet up, the lakes right now, what did I find? They were 50 degrees or so. That's plus 10 Celsius, 22 degrees Celsius temperature difference. That's a heavy lake effect snow event. Of course, the ground is warm. Some of it is going to melt, but we're going to see some surprisingly heavy spots, just spots of lake effect snow coming up here in Michigan in the next 10 days. And I probably shouldn't do this, but you're going to want to know. This is the snowfall forecast. Okay, this is by Sunday morning. Higher elevations of the UP. Now, this model forecasts 8 to 10 inches of snow. But whoa. Okay, I just want to preface that half of that is going to melt. Okay, so the better way to probably look at it is this next graphic. Snow on the ground at the time. And you could see it could cut it in half. So, you know, the UP, you're talking probably a 2 to 4 inch snow in the higher elevations. That's by Sunday. Let's go into next week when the colder air gets in the lower peninsula. Let's go to Halloween. This is Halloween evening. There could be an inch or two in parts of northern lower Michigan. And again across the UP. All right, so it's starting. Start taking the patio furniture in and whatnot, because it looks like today is a great day to do it, and it looks like we're just stair-stepping down from here into colder weather. Yes, we will have a turnaround. We will have probably still some 60-degree days in November, maybe even a 70-degree day, but for the next 10 days, it's going to feel a little bit more like winter's coming quite early. All right, that's your update today, folks. Have yourself a great Thursday. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.